Hey yo pineapples, Ned Shearer back again with another brand new deck profile. I'm bringing to you my version of a Salamangreat list that I've been playtesting for about a month now. I would like to start off by apologising for not uploading quite as frequently as I was last time. There's just been, with everything happening, I've just had a few things take my mind off of everything and all that sort of stuff. But bringing to you my version of a Salamangreat list that I've been playing for a little over a month now. I haven't played Salamangreat in probably a good year, probably since the structure deck came out. I think I'm fairly certain it was the beginning of 2019, so it's been quite some time since I've played Salamangreat, but I've picked it up again. I've been really enjoying it, and this is just my version of the list that I've been playtesting and having a lot of success with and a lot of fun with, so I'm going to get straight into the deck profile. It's a 40 card main with 24 monsters, 10 spells, and 6 trap cards. And I also like to show you my lovely playmat that I've got here, which I actually won from the Salamangreat structure deck sneak peek. So a lot of fun. We'll start off with my Salamangreat monsters. I play 2 Foxy. I was playing 3 for the longest time. I have found 3 was unnecessary. 2 for me was the perfect number. There have been some lists that I've been seeing that do play 3. I personally don't like 3. I think 2 is perfectly fine. It's a combo starter and it's a combo extender, so not much else to say about the Foxy. Playing 2 Spinny, I haven't needed a third one, and I think 1 is just not enough for particularly in this format. I think 2 is the correct number to play in any Salamangreat list, and I'm also playing 2 Jaguar. I don't think this will ever be at 1. I think I was playing it at 2 back in the day as well. And then 2 for this format is also the correct number. And particularly online, I've been seeing a lot of Call by the Graves and DD Crows being thrown into decks, so 2 is the correct number in that case. And then so we got the 1 boss monster of Salamangreat Gazelle, and we got 1 Falco and 1 Fowl. Falco is just good all-round card. It bounces back the Gazelle if you needed to for that extra extending and to set spells and trap from the graveyard. And then the Fowl, I've seen some lists not play Fowl, and then I've seen some lists include Fowl. I like Fowl because it's a level 4, and it's just another card to link climb even further. So I think Fowl's a really good card in this deck. So only 9 Salamangreat cards, and then the normal summon of choice is Lady Debug, which I'm playing 3 of. I'm not playing Buffalo, simply because Buffalo requires you to have another card in hand, and for this format being quite fast, I think Lady Debug is just infinitely better. Although Debug obviously is more susceptible to hand traps, I just think Debug for this format is a lot more safer, and it's a 1 card everything you need. So you summon Debug, add the Gazelle, make Balinks, and then link climb from there, which you can do off 1 card with 4 other spare cards in hand. So I just think Debug is way better in this format. And then majority of the people that I hang with don't like this card, but Parallelic Sea, which I'm playing 3 of, I love this card. I don't see why you wouldn't play this card. I really enjoy playing these. Just the free rank 4 or free link climb spam is just absolutely insane. I've got nothing else to say about it. Some people don't like it, and a lot of decks that I've seen play it incorporate it really well. So 3 Parallelic Sea. Then the hand traps I'm playing 9 monster hand traps of 3 of the best one, Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. It's a fire type, so you can add it back, and it's just your generic all-round good card. My personal favorite is 3 Phantasme. I'm only playing this because it is my favorite hand trap. This could easily be literally anything else. Nibiru, Ghost Ogre, Moonlit if you really wish to. It could be literally any other card. I'm choosing Phantasme because, as I said, it's my personal favorite of the hand traps. And it still comes up quite a lot, particularly with Needle Fiber knocking around as well. So it does have its uses for it as well. Then the only other hand traps I'm playing are 2 DD Crow. As I said, DD Crow and Call by the Grave are really knocking about at the moment from my experiences. And I'm also playing the 1 Prohibit Snake. Not a lot of people expect this card, and not a lot of people play it. I really enjoyed it. 1, for those who don't know what this does, Prohibit Stake. At the start of the damage step, if your Cyber's Link monster battles an opponent's monster, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard to bounce your opponent's monster back to their hand, which is really good to take out those pesky, really big boss monsters. Particularly online, a lot of players are on Eldritch, and on the off occasion, it also hits dinosaur players, so it's a really good card. It's also got a grave effect. So when your Cyber's monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish one card in your graveyard and then target one level 4 or lower Cyber's monster in your graveyard and add that card to your hand. You can use both of the effects only once per turn. So it does really come in handy. So if you destroy something of your opponent's by battle with a Cyber's monster, you can banish one card to either add this to hand or literally get any of your debugs or your Salamangreat cards back to hand. So it's a really, I really enjoy this card. I'm going to keep it at 1 for the moment. This could easily be taken out for any other hand trap or any other card that you see fit. So that's the 24 monsters of the deck. Going into the 10 spells, it's the 1 Sanctuary and the 1 Circle. I really don't think I need to explain Sanctuary. It's primarily the 1 of and then the 1 Circle because it's at 1. And then I've chosen to play 3 Will of the Salamangreat. The list that I've been seeing have only been playing at 2. I've decided to go for your basic cookie cutter generic list because I haven't played the deck in so long. I've wanted to have that cushion of having a possible extender on the off chance that I do happen to misplay, which is why I'm running 3 so I can see it consistently. Obviously, you can play 2, you can play 1 if you really need to, but I haven't seen any lists of late that play only 1. 2 seems to be the magic number for this particular card, but I've chosen 3 just for that extra cushion. Then we play 3 Side Ant Mining to search literally anything to get your combos going. And then I'm also playing 2 Pot of Desires. A lot of people are playing 2 Pot, a lot of people playing 3 Pot. I'm very tempted to cut this down to 1, just because I have a bad habit of Desires into a Desires, which I don't like. I like to think of this card as sort of an upstart goblin to make it a 39 card deck, because if I see it, then it's in this case it's a +2 or +1. If I don't see it, then I can just it's not going to ban me. It's not going to bother me that much. So, but 2 Desires is completely fine. I see why people run 2. It has worked in the past in the playtesting that I have been doing. And the current, as you can see, the current list is playing 2, so I've had no problems with it at this stage. And then finally for the trap cards, 1 Raw with 2 Rage. A lot of different variants in regards to these trap cards. You can play 1 and 1. You can play 2 Raw and 1 Rage. You can play. I'm tempted to play 2 and 2 and take out one of the Desires for the second Raw. But I haven't had a problem with this particular lineup of the trap cards. Just the extra Raw would add the little bit of extra consistency that I for a quote-unquote cookie cutter list. So that's them. And then I'm also playing 3 Impermanents to round up the 6 trap cards that I play in the deck, and makes it the 12 hand traps. And that is my 40 card main for Salamangreat. Going on to the extra deck, which is probably subject to change in the near future, but I'll start with the Salamangreat monsters. 3 Banelinks is your first step in link climbing, pretty much all the time. 3 Wolf, which is most of the time is going to be your step 2, but it's also your end play for turn 1, so it's another really good card. Recursion for your Salamangreat monsters and your spell cards, and also just an overall really consistent engine. 2 Leo. I have never seen a list play 3 of this. I don't see myself going to 3. I think 2 is the correct number. Just the fact that you can spin back row, make your opponent's monsters lose or your monsters gain attack points is just absolutely incredible. I don't see myself cutting this down to 1 or increasing this to 2. Increasing this to 3. I think 2 is the correct number for them. And then the other steps for the link climbing, we've got 1 Splash Mage, 1 Heater, and 1 Update Jammer. these are pretty self-explanatory. I was very curious on why people played Splash Mage, but now I'll let you know why in a sec. Heater, because everything's a fire, and then Up G Jammer for the potential OTKs. The Transcode Talker is what I play, and also the Access Code Talker, which is why we play Splash Mage, because it's another attribute to banish off the Access Code Talker, and then Transcode Talker to bring back all your really good cards that you've linked off early in the turn. And then to round it up, I'm playing 2 Xyz monsters in the way of 1 Abyss Dweller, because it's Abyss Dweller, it's just an all-round good card. I've also chosen to play 1 Baguska. This was originally going to be Tornado Dragon. The reason why it's not Tornado Dragon, I just found that in the testing that I've been doing, not a lot of except for the Eldritch, not a lot of back row decks come up all that often. And if you happen to hit one of your opponent's back row with a Tornado Dragon, they can just use it on that turn from the graveyard effect to set another card. So it didn't come up all that often. There's probably a niche instance of using it during an Altergeist match, but I think this comes in a lot more clutch, particularly for the mirror match. And then trying to see if your opponent can beat over this is quite hilarious. By the time they get to the point where they've got 2 monsters on the field to link someone with, that's where your trap cards and your hand traps and all that sort of stuff come into effect. So I haven't had a problem with these. Baguska could be literally any other card. I was testing Nightmare Phoenix just for a possible back row out, as opposed to the Tornado Dragon as well. That's another option you're more than welcome to try out. But I've enjoyed Baguska thus far. But that brings me to the end of my deck profile for the Salamangreat. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope this particular deck list actually is somewhat viable for those people who wish to start to play Salamangreat, or those who currently play Salamangreat and want to teach me a thing or two. Any tips, tricks, or queries about this deck, by all means, leave them in the comments below. Like the video, sub to the channel. Thank you ever so much for watching. And until we meet again, guys, thank you very much. Take care. Peace.